What's going on, everyone? My name is Nicholas Merton here from DataDash, and I hope you guys are having a fantastic day wherever you are, because in today's sponsored review, I want to spend some time to talk about an emerging project in the privacy narrative of the crypto industry that's not only aiming to build a whole range of solutions for existing infrastructure plays in the crypto space when it comes to privacy, but beyond that as well is aiming to build a whole new range of private applications, the likes of which we just haven't seen in the crypto industry. Today, we're talking about none other than zKML systems. Now, before we talk about zKML systems, I want to give you guys a brief overview of what we'll be discussing. I want to talk about why I'm generally excited around the narrative of privacy in crypto, why I think a lot of people are undervaluing the sector at the moment. But beyond that as well, I want to spend some time to talk about the systems and applications that zKML is aiming to achieve and building. And beyond that as well, talk about the good and the bad around the project, giving you guys my candid take on where it stands at the moment. We got a lot to unpack here in today's video, so if you happen to enjoy, consider dropping a like. Let's go ahead and kick things off. So I want to start here, irrespective of zKML, and talk a little bit about why I'm excited about the narrative of privacy. I want to clarify one big elephant in the room here, which is that for me, privacy as a narrative in the crypto space is not some kind of Wild West, deep web scenario where we want to let anything go and everything is fine and dandy. What I care about at the end of the day, when I'm talking about privacy, I'm talking about the web itself in the sense that we expect when we transmit value, when we transmit data, whether it be monetary or information-based, we expect to have some degree of privacy. I'm assuming that we wouldn't want our bank transfers to be entirely public on the web for anyone to see, or our data that we're transmitting or the websites we visit to be completely public knowledge. The unfortunate reality, though, is that on blockchain networks here today, it doesn't matter which network you love, at the end of the day, the overwhelming majority do not have any privacy preservation technologies, especially in the Web3 space. So when you're conducting swaps, when you're conducting lending or borrowing, if you're doing any type of financial activity or payments from one party to another, you expose your entire address in your entire holdings, as well as your transaction history. So this needs to be solved for. If we really want Web3 to scale, if we want institutions to adopt it, if we want entire economies like the Eurozone that implement policies like GDPR to implement and actually adopt Web3, we need to adapt not only to existing regulatory frameworks, but also as well the principles of maintaining privacy. So I wanted to get that out of the way here real quick, but I just wanted to clarify that because once we understand that, we can start to see the value proposition of something like zKML. Now, essentially, zKML is aiming to build a whole range of different features. To be honest, it's not one trick pony. It's aiming to build a whole range of different new applications or solutions for existing chains, and some of them they've either already built or are very close to deploying. So there's a couple different ones here. There's the privacy router, what they call the anti-CBDC utility. This is one that I want to dive into that will play in a role in regards to the XRP ledger or Ripple and their technologies. But beyond that as well, zKSearch, zkSnarky, zkOS, mobile zkOS, privacy-centric VoIP or voice over internet protocol. Beyond that as well, zkShield and cross-chain interoperability. There's a lot to unpack here, but I want to go ahead and talk about what they've achieved so far and some of the key value propositions that the protocol's focused on. The first thing I think overall that's just smart from a project perspective is that they're focused on building solutions for existing networks. As an infrastructure play, they realize that it's much smarter to actually go ahead and build new improved layers or added layers on top of existing infrastructure in the crypto space that's already seeing a good amount of transaction volume and traction. One of those is their privacy router or anti-CBDC layer on top of the Ripple network. This privacy router is aimed on focusing on utilizing a wide range of privacy-preserving technologies that are integral to zKML, like zero-knowledge proofs, as well as multi-party computation, to allow you to essentially make privacy-preserving transactions over the XRP ledger. This will allow you to be able to essentially convert from traditional fiat currencies or central bank digital currencies on the XRP ledger or Ripple and be able to convert them into the main currency of XRP, be able to transact them in a privacy-preserving way, and be able to allow you to utilize XRP as a mediation back towards those original fiat currencies or CBDCs, depending on whoever is receiving the payment and however they want to receive that currency. So I think that this is very interesting here because as the topic of CBDCs are going to continue growing bigger and bigger, I think it is imperative here, whether central banks themselves are going to support it or not, that there are privacy-preserving layers. And there are always going to be these integral technological layers out there. But I think zKML in this case is focusing on getting in early and trying to build that for the XRP ledger. So I think that this is really exciting stuff here. Like, this overall to me is a smart example of how we can improve the existing payments infrastructure in the crypto space, whether that be around the topic and narrative of CBDCs or even cross-border payments as well. But beyond their focus of building a privacy-preserving layer for the XRP ledger, they also want to maintain compatibility and collaboration with a whole range of major privacy networks in the crypto space, especially ones that have been on the rise like Mina as well as Oasis network. These are two of the biggest emerging ecosystems in the crypto space around Web3 when it comes to privacy and allowing you to engage in the same type of Web3 activities in a privacy-preserving manner, like engaging in DeFi as well as other narratives in the crypto space. So I think that from a biz dev perspective, this is going to help zKML get a lot of new users and attention over the next couple of weeks and months, considering that they're aiming to maintain this compatibility with a variety of different networks that already exist. But outside of this, I want to go ahead and talk about some of the core technologies that they're aiming to build. One of them that we can not only see today, but also test out, which I want to showcase here in the video, zKSearch. Now, zKSearch is focused on being this kind of anonymous AI search engine. Essentially, it not only allows you to search the web in a privacy-preserving manner, meaning in line with the project's core narrative, but outside of that as well, it also utilizes artificial intelligence to try to fight against censorship when it comes to web search results. Now, I don't have to probably be the first to tell you, no matter where you stand on your personal views of the world, you probably know that on social media, on search engines, on the web in general, there is filtering, and it can sometimes lead you to getting unbiased results when you're searching the web. That's why in this case, zKSearch is a really interesting technology. Now I'll say here again, this is a novel kind of early stage implementation. I would assume definitely an alpha implementation, but we can search a whole range of different things here. So for example, I wanted to look up research around maybe something that's maybe a bit controversial, like the ketogenic diet versus vegan diet, right? Not picking any sides here, but I wanted to showcase that again, we can actually search here today a variety of different web results here and get relevant links and images towards these different topics as well as alternative searches around these topics. So it's definitely really interesting to see here that, again, some project as small as zKML and relatively new to the crypto sector is able to build a relatively early stage but convincing search engine here. So I think that this is definitely really exciting here for important topics like research, but outside of that as well, to also do research on a whole range of topics. If you're learning about a subject matter, to be able to have it where you don't have to fear of doing the research on these topics. In this case, you can maintain real anonymity, but beyond that as well, being able to get results that are unfiltered, that are really just going to be giving you the best results for the subject matter you're trying to understand without any blocks or filters. So I think that this is, again, really cool. Again, early stage here, definitely one thing to mention. But again, at the same time, the fact that zKML has already rolled out a early stage search engine in this case, utilizing these technologies, I think it offers a very valuable use case in the future, especially as censorship has become a growing concern when it comes to the web as a whole. But outside of that as well, if we just take a step back, there are a whole range of different features and focuses that the network is focused on. Things like privacy-centric VoIP or Voice over Internet Protocol, which by integrating with Huddle will allow for privacy-preserving communication between parties, untampered, utilizing some of the highest degrees of cryptography for secure communication. But beyond that as well, their implementation of zk Shield, which will allow for truly privacy-preserving payments in the crypto space. I think this is essential long-term. The ability to actually go about sending cryptocurrencies from one party to another in a private fashion is going to be critical long-term to the broader crypto space. So I think that this is something that's realistic. It's something that can be achievable here today. And if we were to just take everything out of the picture here, in this case, the search engine, VoIP, and outside of that as well, some of their additional features that they're aiming to build, I think just eventually focusing on building the application layer, the privacy layer for transactions in crypto is a killer application as a whole. And it's going to be essential for a lot of large players and parties in the crypto space to really get involved in crypto long term. So I think this is, again, one of the solid focuses here. Payments is definitely going to be the bread and butter long term. I think an example of that is the privacy router for zKML. But above all, I wanted to let you guys know that if you're interested in learning a little bit more about some of these applications, if you want to see some of them, for example, in practice, like their XRP ledger layer for privacy preserving transactions, I definitely recommend you guys follow them on Twitter. That's where I've actually found, ironically enough, a lot of the information around examples of the software or links to being able to try out some of these different types of dApps that they're building. But above all here, I think that the focus is definitely right, above all as a project as well. And when you consider the fact that the project is only sitting at a $45 million market cap and has the kind of ambitions that it has on its roadmap, this is definitely one of the earlier stage, high risk, high reward plays in the crypto space that could pan out quite well if they continue to deliver as they have. But at the end of the day, guys, while I really like the vision, I'll also be candid in saying here that we don't know too much about the team. And outside of that as well, when it comes to the roadmap, it is an ambitious roadmap with a lot of deliverable items that need to be met to. So I think, again, at the end of the day, when you're doing your own due diligence, keep these things in mind, keep a check and balance between the good and the bad. And above all, if you guys are interested in the project, definitely keep it on your radar by following them on Twitter. I definitely think this is the best way to keep up with the project from what I've been able to find. And like I said, I wouldn't be bringing it to you guys here today if I wasn't interested in the project. So I'm definitely going to be keeping it on my radar, continuing to follow the project, and continuing to follow its socials to see if there's any new updates or applications that the team is delivering on. That's it for today's video, everyone. Thank you all so much for watching. If you guys happen to enjoy this review, consider dropping a like and let me know down below in the comments what you think about the project. I'd love to hear your thoughts on it and get a conversation going down below. Take care, everyone, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care, everyone.